We're going to kick it off with where we left it off, the voice opportunity, the AI voice opportunity. And it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Adnan, the CTO of Radisys, who's going to talk about it. A little bit of technology, and then let's make money. All right, give it up for Adnan, please. Thank you. Kind of fancy. Come on, stage. Your stage.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I start from here. There we go.
Yes.
Yep. Well, hopefully everyone had a good break. So we're going to talk about what has happened in the telecom industry for the last several decades, probably 80 plus years. Can anybody think of any real voice improvements in regular telephony calling over the last 80 years? I can think of one where audio quality was improved, went from narrowband to wideband. Audio quality certainly is superior. But other than that, I can't really think of any real innovation in voice calling in operator networks. This is what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to leverage AI and how that's actually being deployed in operator networks as we speak. In fact, there's 5 tier 1 operators around the world implementing or ready to commercially deploy the use cases I'm going to talk about today. Just a quick intro to Radisys in case some people are not familiar with Radisys. Our heritage is in designing and developing and deploying infrastructure components for telecom network operators, predominantly in the real-time media processing space. So we sit in the IMS core network and in the edges of the network. We provide the media resource function, and we're deployed in around 180 plus operators around the globe for well over 15 years. So now when the real-time media is going through the operator network, there's the opportunity to start to use AI in that voice that's traveling through operator networks. So here you'll see what is the standard telephony call. I think the key point about this entire short presentation is that this is in-network. That means that your existing operator network does not need new applications. People don't need new applications. You need to download anything. You don't have interoperability issues. If you have a phone and a phone number and your native dialer, you can immediately start to benefit from all these additional use cases. So at the center of it is the voice AI, and it includes all of these capabilities. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about these use cases that can be implemented to provide a much differentiated user experience, a much better experience than just talking to somebody on a phone call, as we've done for decades and decades without any other enhancements applied to it. So that includes agentic AI, generative AI, large language models, as well as SLMs, small language models, public and private, speech analytics, language translation, and virtual assistants. So let's take a look at that. So the key points here are that this does not require no apps to download, 0. You use your phone and use your native dialer as is. No expensive smartphones needed. You can enjoy and use these capabilities, AI leverage capabilities, from any telephony network, whether it's a mobile or fixed line, whether it's a cheap phone to a super high-end smartphone. The capabilities are in the network, not in the device. This means if you change your phone, you do anything with it, the capability stays as part of your service from the operator. And as part of that, you have no interoperability barriers. Anybody who has a telephony access can pick up their phone and call anybody in the world, and these capabilities are automatically then available to that subscriber. So it's always available, and this is going to bring a new generation of these revenue opportunity streams. So let's look at what some of these use cases are. Okay. So the user experience is not only during the call, but the user experience is enhanced before the call or during the call, and some things that can happen after the call. So by before the call meetings, you can have call branding information. Before you answer the call, you know who's calling, and you can do call screening to find out why they're calling before you even answer the call. So there's some AI capability that is being applied before you even answer the call. Call screening can take notes for you without you having to answer the call. Those AI notes and summaries will be sent to you without answering the call. If you've answered the call, there's numerous use cases there. We're only going to touch on maybe 3 or 4 of them. And by the way, we have live demos of this running at our table. Would welcome anybody to come see those. So these aren't only PowerPoints. These are real end-to-end ready applications that are currently being deployed in some of the operator customers of ours. So fraud detection, call recording, in-call virtual assistants, live language translation, a few examples. And then post-call, you have transcriptions and note summaries, all of this AI generated, and can trigger off agentic AI actions like, I discussed this with my colleague. Now the action items that we took, it's going to need a follow-up meeting. That follow-up meeting will get automatically dropped into my calendar, as an example. Okay. Now, just a quick, we won't spend too much time. We did some estimates. What is the size of this opportunity? How much voice minutes are actually going through operator networks? Sure, there's WhatsApp. Sure, there's other ways of doing over the top. But in the operator network, according to these estimates that I looked up, there's 280 billion minutes per month just in North America of voice traffic. 280 billion minutes per month. And globally, there's almost 1 trillion voice minutes in operator networks. So this is not including OTT, this is strictly inside operator networks. So you can just imagine the amount of voice traffic that the operators are already hosting, how many use cases and traffic that the AI can enhance that user experience and provide revenue generating opportunities. So I'll kick off on a few of them right here. So first is, every subscriber in telecom network can have a virtual personal assistant. So me as a subscriber for, let's say, Rogers in Canada, I live in Vancouver, I can have a personal assistant that Rogers can offer me. In that personal assistant, I can call that personal assistant over the regular telephony network, and that virtual assistant can assist me with many, many different tasks. Like, I would like to take notes, and the assistant will say, yes, taking notes. Email those notes to me. I would like to ask my assistant to say, hey, can you find me when is the travel options available between this and this? I can ask my assistant, hey, can you call my colleague Ralph and Anil on the call? He'll join the calls with me. You can just imagine the amount of actions that the assistant can take for you is limited to what the application or user experience wants the assistant to do. That assistant also has knowledge that is specific to me. This is not general public ChatGPT large language model, although that can be included too, but it's operating on my private data information that I've allowed my assistant to have. If I want my assistant to know about my travel itinerary, I simply just forward it my travel document. If I want my assistant to know about my product catalog and pricing information while I'm on the road, I can give that to it. So my virtual assistant has the information, just like you would with a real person. If you had a real person, you want your assistant to know this thing, you just give them that information. So similarly here, I simply forward this information to my assistant, including previous phone calls. If I had a phone call with a customer 1 week ago, and the transcript and summary of that I want my assistant to know so he can remind me or help with the next call, the assistant will know that as well. So here's what when I mentioned in IMS network, it literally is in-network voice AI. So it's running 5G core, IMS core, and inside the IMS core is where the solution resides, including LLMs, small language model, generative AI, speech analytics, virtual assistants, agentic AI. Those are the key capabilities running in the network, in the IMS core network. And here's me on the left-hand side. I'm just calling my assistant, and it's using generative AI technology in multiple languages, by the way, I should mention. More than 100 languages are supported already. So you can speak to your assistant in whatever your native language is, and your assistant will respond back to you in your preferred language. And on the right-hand side is your data management, where, as I was mentioning earlier, I want my assistant to only know this information. I get to control where the data is, and I have access to it, and I can ask my virtual assistant to use generative AI technology to respond to me or take actions based on that private data that I have as a subscriber. Okay. So not only that I have a private virtual assistant that I can call using my regular native telephony dialer, what I can also do is, as I mentioned, I can have my assistant call, let's say, a colleague or a friend, whoever's in my contact list. So I can say, hey, can you call Frank, please? And my assistant will out-dial Frank and join us two together, and the virtual assistant can either stay in the conversation as a third party, or the assistant can just be removed up to me if I want to have the assistant in the call or not. So here, what it's showing is that I was chatting with my assistant at the top, and middle of the thing, I just reminded, oh, I should call Ralph, and I should remind him of something. So I say, hey, assistant, can you call Ralph for me? It will call Ralph. We're connected on a two-way call now, standard telephony network, no apps. And it will take notes, and it will take whatever action items that came from it. So it's calling your assistant as well as being able to have a call directly to a second party and then adding the assistant later. I'll show you that in a second here. So let's say the call started with me on the left-hand side calling, Ralph on the right-hand side, using our regular native telephony numbers. During the phone call, this is a regular phone call, nothing special about it, but during the phone, I can invoke my personal assistant. I've given my personal assistant named Juno as an example. You can give your persona language. And so let's say my assistant's name is Juno. So I'm going to say, hey, Juno. And Juno will wake up. How can I help you? Can I say, can you join this call? So the assistant will join this call. And now the assistant is now able to listen to both sides of the audio. What I'm saying to Ralph, what Ralph is saying to me, is taking transcript, is taking call summary notes, is taking action items, all the agentic AI stuff. So this is all happening in the middle of the call where assistants can be added, AI capabilities can be added in the middle of the call while the call had already started, or I can start it have that AI assistant available right from the start. So after I've added the assistant, what the assistant is going to do is, some very basic things to start just to get the idea, right? Well, make a recording or take notes. So the assistant will take notes, and it will either email me the notes, whichever way I want those notes shared, only with myself or maybe with other people. It will do an AI-generated call summary as well. Say, these are the key action items. You have a meeting coming up, here's the agenda. Not just a kind of line-by-line transcripts, you get both, right? So the recordings are not just audio recordings now, right? And I think as some of the VCon stuff was saying, it's very powerful. So now those audio conversations have now become extremely valuable information for me as a person or enterprise. All my sales agents are having calls. Where are the action items going? What are the next steps? What is the information that should be used going forward? So the AI assistant is now providing that information. So switching to maybe quickly another use case outside of the virtual assistant. Fraud detection is a big problem. I've seen it personally many times in North America. I'm sure you probably have some experience with inbound fraudulent calls. So what we're doing is that when you answer the call and the other person starts speaking to you, and let's say I'll give you a very simple example. Somebody says, oh, sorry, this is Bank of Canada calling, and your Visa card has been put on block because we've detected some fraudulent activity. We'd like to confirm some information from you. And start to ask me information. Can you validate your last name? Can you validate your home address? Can you validate the CVV number in the back, the security code number? Immediately the AI is going to pick up that this is a potentially a fraudulent call. AI will detect that, and it will whisper on my side of the audio conversation and warn me, and you'll hear a message, something to the effect, please proceed with caution. This is being detected as a potential fraudulent call. I can continue the call if I want to, but now I've been warned. That information now has also been tracked and traced and transcribed and given to whichever authorities, not only just myself, but to other people too. And again, to stress the point, this is not just in English, it's in 100 plus languages. So here's the fraud message. So fraudulent call, phishing call started there. I answered the call. The AI model that is going to detect fraudulent activity, those models are changing and they're region dependent. So I know in Canada, for some period of time, I'm sure you probably find unique examples in your home countries areas as well, that during tax season time, a lot of people start getting calls about, well, this is Canada Revenue Agency calling, Government of Canada calling, and your tax forms have not been filed, and now you have to pay a penalty. Something to that effect, tricking people, older people, maybe new immigrants, people not familiar with the language, and a lot of people had fallen for that thing and started providing information, thinking it was the Government of Canada calling. So there's a lot of models that LLM, or these models that are built for unique regions where these fraud things are occurring. Those models can be updated almost instantly, so that, and can be deployed at a regional basis or at a national level. And the thing is, it is going to give you, on the left-hand side, as you'll see, the fraud alert message was heard in my ear, as well as the full transcript of what was said, what was detected to be the potentially fraudulent activity that the other party said to me that is now recorded. It's going to be now shared with either myself or with somebody pretending to be Bank of Canada or Government of Canada, as an example. So those things are continuously then getting updated. So as more and more fraud, as soon as somebody starts saying this is potentially fraud, the models also get updated so that other people can benefit from new scams kind of coming up. So switching here a little bit, so it's not only maybe just for fraud detection. This is a general case. This is not about fraud, for instance. If I'm busy, I'm traveling, and I really can't, I don't know, somebody's calling me, my phone's ringing, and I'm saying, well, I think at this point I can't really take the call right now. So literally on my phone, I'll press a button here, means screen the call. Screen the call means let my virtual assistant answer the call on my behalf. So what will happen is the other party who's just calling me, it will play a message to them saying, sorry, Adnan is busy right now. Can you please state your name and the purpose of your call? And you'll say, oh, I'm calling about this and that. And as they're speaking, my phone will show me the text of what they're saying. Oh, this is John calling from the Royal Bank of Canada, and it's about your mortgage renewal. It's like, oh, I better answer that call. Or it's your doctor calling, oh, okay, this support, I forgot about that. So right there and then, I can press a button and join the call immediately. Or I can say, no, let the virtual assistant finish the call because I'm busy, I cannot get out of a meeting. The call will continue, and everything, the transcript and the summary of the call will then be immediately sent to me by SMS, email, whichever means or method you prefer to use. So the other use case here is live language translation. So this use case is about being able to talk, any two parties can talk to each other in real time in any language. So this is actually implemented in the network. We can give you live demos of that if you'd like to see that. So this is in network. This is not using a third-party app. It's not using some special feature or device of a $2,000 smartphone. This is built into the network. So while I make a call to somebody and I find out, oh, the other person is speaking German or Spanish or Mandarin, what I can do is immediately go and say, select the language to that appropriate language, and immediately what's going to happen is that the audio is going to start getting translated between English and Spanish in real time in audio for both parties. And also at the end of the call, what's going to happen is that you're going to get a transcript and a summarization of the call in your language, and the other party will get it in their language. So to sum it up, these are just a handful of use cases that AI is fundamentally revolutionizing the basic audio calling that we've had for decades and decades with no innovation. This is providing that innovation directly in the operator's network without requiring any uplifting on smartphones or applications. And the last slide I'll leave you with, welcome you guys to come and see the live demos if you have time. And also we have a workshop on this topic tomorrow as well, so if you'd like to join us on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Round of applause.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you stay on stage.
Oh, I stay on stage.
I think you stay. I already called and I asked you one question.